मेरा मार्कर मिल गया, देखा? नीचे नीचे था ना, हार्ड एंड है ना, किधर भी नहीं जाता, हार्ड एंड. Now, so preparation of colloids. Why are colloids prepared at all? Why are colloids prepared at all? If a substance is not soluble, at least acquire that in colloidal state. Most of the allopathic medicines which are covalent, they are not soluble in water, non-polar wale. So they are given in colloidal state. Now, Brady's arc process. Brady's arc process. Gold electrodes are taken. Gold. What is important? Listen. Colloid बोले तो क्या है? Sand particles suspend in water. Sugar particles dissolve in water. They form a homogeneous mixture. And colloidal particles disperse in water. So you should make them disperse. If not alone, as a group also chalega, for which kinetic energy is required. Now, silent electric discharge between gold electrodes. What do you mean by silent electric discharge? Silent electric discharge. What do you mean by silent? Yes, you know, when water molecules are ionized, when a lightning occurs, water molecules are ionized and you get a sound also, that is the thunder we hear. That is the thunder we hear. Light comes first and we hear the thunder a little later, sound travels slower. So, silent electric discharge means no sound, means moisture nahi rehna. Moisture nahi rehna. And you see that gold vapors enter with kinetic energy. There are two things here. एक तो ज्यादा गोल्ड नहीं देना, एक तो वो कॉस्टली है, दूसरा बॉडी के लिए उतना लगता भी नहीं है. We require only small amount of gold. We require almost all the 115 elements for the body. All elements are required. So, gold enters in vapor state, small amount of gold is transferred with kinetic energy. So, gold sol is prepared. Metal sols. Metal sols. Metal sols, I think they are negatively charged. Charge on colloidal particles is very important. Charge on colloidal particles. There is a tabular form in NCERT. Charge on colloidal particles. Which is positive, which is negative. You must learn, and that will be the question. While coagulating, you need to know the charge. How can you coagulate? By adding the opposite charge. Opposite charge डाला तो मर जाएगा. Gold salt. Next, most important and interesting, peptization. What do you mean by peptization? The term comes from botany, biology. Huh? Yeah, giving life to the dead. Giving life to the dead. Ferric hydroxide is insoluble in water. But you know, ferric ions are required for the body. Ferric, iron, tonic. Tonic, all tonics are colloids. All tonics are colloids. Now, ferric hydroxide forms a heap in water, doesn't dissolve. By adding ferric chloride FeCl3 solution, we can bring that back to life. How does that come back to life? Let us see. Ferric hydroxide. A group of ferric hydroxide, not individual. Why not individual? Individual to hoga bhi nahi, because that is insoluble, forms a heap. A group of ferric hydroxide molecules adsorb more covalent common ion. Between iron 3 and Cl minus, which is more covalent? Naturally iron 3. Coordination, transition metal ions are more covalent. Chloride is highly ionic. Highly ionic. Therefore, ferric ion is adsorbed. By who? By who is important? Ferric ion is adsorbed by a group, not individual. So what is formed? FeOH thrice oblique Fe3 plus, and due to the repulsion between this group, ferric hydroxide group and ferric hydroxide group, and it goes back into the solution. That is called peptidization. So you can ask me, why can't you straight away give ferric chloride? Why can't we give ferric chloride? Nahi baba, ferric chloride is highly acidic. HCl hai na, ferric hydroxide and HCl, that is acidic, so that cannot be given. Iron 3 is required for the body. So this iron tonic contains FeOH thrice Fe3 plus, and this is positively charged. Arsenic sulfide, H2S, what do you get? Precipitate of arsenic sulfide. When H2S is added, which is more covalent? Sulfide. Therefore, arsenic sulfide sol is negatively charged. That adsorbs As2S3 oblique sulfide, negatively charged salt. Stevia sulfide, arsenic sulfide, all sulfide salts are, which is adsorbed? Whichever is more covalent and a common ion. So, I am giving Fe3 plus. Now, if this FeOH thrice Fe3 plus disperses in water, forming a colloid. वो कहा वो बैठता तो चला गया क्या? Now, this is called peptidization. Now, that is about preparation. Next one. Properties of colloids. Yeah. Colloids exhibit mechanical properties. What are they? How many of you read the story in NCERT? Pura surface chemistry pada? Very interesting, huh? NCERT? Very interesting. They have given the story. Now, mechanical properties. Brownian movement. What is Brownian movement? Zigzag movement. Zigzag movement of colloidal particles. Why is zigzag motion important? For collisions to take place. Collisions. Collisions take place only when there is zigzag motion. 2. Optical properties. Colloids exhibit optical properties. Tyndall cone effect. What is Tyndall cone effect? Scattering of light by particles of colloidal size. So no, there are nothing called colloidal particles because everybody forms colloid. Only thing is size that matters. Particles of colloidal size, they scatter light. What do you mean by scattering? Look here, the 7 colors, if they are separated, that is called dispersion. Dispersion means everybody, you disperse during the break as disperse. No, you disperse after the class is over. Each one goes to his own home. During the break you scatter. 3 jan yaha, 2 jan yaha, scattering of light. Splitting as a group. ठीक है ना? Now, earth, dust particle, sun. What happens when the sunlight falls on the dust particles which are of colloidal size? Because you can see the dust particles when light is sent through an aperture, a slit. You can, here you have millions of dust particles. Right now they are invisible, but when light enters with a beam of light. Now, so आधा light इधर जाएगा, बाकी आधा इधर जाएगा. What is this? Blue. है ना? The color of sky is blue during the day. And शाम को क्या होता है? Earth ऐसे घूमता है ना? We go to the other horizon. We see the yellow during twilight. During sunset you see that yellow color. Optical properties. Look here. A sulfur sol. What is a sulfur sol? Colloidal sulfur. Colloidal sulfur scatters light and you can see a blue circle and you can see yellow circle. Two clearly scattered regions. This is sulfur. Immediately surrounding sulfur you see the blue and away from it you see the orange yellow. Orange yellow twilight. You can see all these experiments on the net. Net में मिलेगा. This is due to Tyndall cone effect. Scattering of light. What is C.V. Raman effect? Light scattered by sea water on the surface of the sea. That's why sea water is blue, looks blue. क्या? अंदर स्कैटर होता है ना, अंदर भी रिफ्रैक्शन होता है ना, रिफ्रैक्टेड लाइट, रिफ्रैक्टेड. गहराई में ग्रीन दिखेगा, गहराई में ग्रीन दिखेगा. नाउ थर्ड वन, electrical properties of colloids. This is very important. Electrical properties. Yes. Electrical properties of colloids. Ferric hydroxide salt, which is positively charged, preferentially adsorbs OH minus. यहाँ प्लस है ना, वाटर का माइनस एब्जॉर्ब करेगा, नेक्स्ट लेयर में H प्लस रहेगा, नेक्स्ट लेयर में OH माइनस रहेगा, नेक्स्ट लेयर में H, ऐसा. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड प्राइमरी स्टेशनरी लेयर, फिक्स्ड. This is mobile layer, mobile or secondary diffused. These two are called Helmholtz double layers. Helmholtz double layer. This single layer of plus minus is called Stern double layer, and two Stern double layers will make Helmholtz double layer. And what exists between these two layers? देखो, यहाँ एक प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस, ये है एक कैपेसिटर, दूसरा कैपेसिटर, प्लस माइनस प्लस माइनस. इन दोनों के बीच में क्या एग्जिस्ट करता है? पोटेंशियल. एंड द पोटेंशियल दैट एग्जिस्ट बिटवीन हेल्महोल्ट्ज डबल लेयर इज कॉल्ड जीटा पोटेंशियल और Zygmundi potential. So colloids are stabilized by adsorbing yes, colloids are stabilized by absorbing preferential adsorption of ions. Preferential adsorption, plus minus को prefer करेगा. Then colloids are two types, lyophobic colloids and lyophilic colloids. Solvent like solvent hating, solvent loving. What if you don't like a solvent? Solvent तुम्हें पसंद नहीं है, क्या करेगा? डूब जाओगे, मर जाओगे, ठीक है ना? These are close to, their size is close to, क्या बोलते? They are close to suspension, and these are close to true solution. क्या रहेंगे? These are stable, less stable, more stable. They get stability, they get stability when a protective agent is added. Protective agent, mostly lyophilic colloid, is added. Less stable. No protective agent is required. Sorry. Self-stabilized, that is better word. Self-stabilized, they are stabilized by themselves. Self-stabilized. You don't require any protective agent. And these are irreversible. Once coagulated, you cannot bring them back to life. Irreversible. These are reversible. Just to stir them, just by stirring you can bring them back to life. And these are not charged. Not charged. And these are charged. What happens because of the charge? Charge की वजह से क्या होगा? Repulsions take place and the repulsive energy will make them disperse. Because of the repulsions, they disperse. All of them will have the same charge, no? So there will be repulsion. Like that. Lyophobic, lyophilic colloids. मैं 15 मिनट का ब्रेक देता हूं ना, उस 15 मिनट बच्चे डाउट पूछते रहते हैं, उसके बाद 15 मिनट और मुझे लगता है नाश्ता करने के लिए। आधा घंटा ब्रेक हो रहा है वो। हाँ, नो प्रॉब्लम, हम अंताक्षरी खेलेंगे। लेकिन some good doubts arise outside the class rather than in the class. Now, so next, flocculation, sedimentation. What do you mean by sedimentation? Suspension को, suspended particles को settling suspended particles. Precipitation. What is precipitation? Settling dissolved particles. Solution को क्या कर सकते हैं हम? A solution can be precipitated. A suspension can be sedimented. अगर पानी में मिट्टी रहा तो क्या करते हैं? कुछ नहीं, है ना, 1-2 घंटा रुक जाओ, मिट्टी अपने आप सेटल हो जाएगा। What is flocculation? Flocculation, coagulation. Settling, बोलो, colloidal particles. इन दोनों के बीच में फर्क क्या है? Coagulation is done mechanically and flocculation is done chemically by adding a chemical. Flocculation, a colloid, देखो coagulation कहाँ करते हैं? सेंट्रीफ्यूगेट, दूध को सेंट्रीफ्यूगेट में डालो, क्या होता है? द हेवियर फैट पार्टिकल्स, वेयर डू दे गो? दूर जाता है। आई डोंट नो फिजिक्स। हेवियर पार्टिकल्स गो टू दी far away, go far away, and मक्खन वहां मिलता है, लोनी, and even from cold milk in the sense, even without curding it, बिना curd बनाए fat can be removed. That's how we get that so-called toned milk with low fat, 1%. Normal milk nearly contains 10% fat, and that is not healthy. It was not healthy for old people. And filmy heroines. Fat. So colloid can be flocculated. Yes, colloid can be flocculated by adding below opposite charge. By adding opposite charge. This is called flocculation. Greater the charge, Hardy-Schulze rule. Hardy-Schulze rule. Greater the charge, greater the flocculation. Therefore, arsenic sulfide sol can best flocculated by A, sulfate, B. Magnesium. C. Aluminium. D. Phosphate. Who can flocculate arsenic sulfide salt? Why? So, arsenic sulfide salt is positively and negatively charged. This is negative. You have to add the opposite charge, positive. That is why we should know the charge on colloidal particles. NCERT to खोलो. NCERT. NCERT है क्या? Charge on colloidal particles. Tabular form is there. Oh, wait. क्या दिया चार्ज? मेटल सॉल्ट्स कहा दिया? ज्ञानेश्वरी, मेटल सॉल्ट्स कहा दिया? Metal salts are negatively charged. I still don't know why they are negatively charged. Metal salts. क्यों रहा होगा? Definitely while vaporizing they lose electrons. Some of them become positive, some of them become negative. So, arsenic sulfide salt best flocculated by greater positive charge. 2009 direct question. 2008 में which of the following can act as a good soap? Good soap क्या है करके 2008 में पूछा. अभी इस साल का एडवांस में भी पूछा गया. Anionic detergent. Happy Diwali. नाम नहीं. Applications of colloids. Flocculation value. What is flocculation value? That is defined in that handbook. Syllabus में नहीं, NCERT में नहीं है. Flocculation value. You know all about emulsions, no?
Yes, sir.
Emulsions. Oil in water, water in oil. What are toothpaste if they are not emulsions? What are toothpaste if they are not emulsions? Toothpaste or water in oil type emulsions. Water in oil type emulsions. सुनो, खाना खाने के बाद while washing you get some kind of cream here. That vanishing cream, toothpaste, they are emulsions. And what are paints if they are not emulsions? Asian paints, emulsions, acrylic emulsions करके बोलते हैं ना. Emulsions are both liquids. What is the advantage of an emulsion? See, the old type paints leave some blisters after a long time. Flocculate हो जाता है ना. You get that blisters, rough surfaces. Rough surface बन जाता है. What is that? The solid has been, the solid paint dye stuff is out of the colloid. After a long time, it will take 2-3 years. But emulsions, both are liquids. Both are liquids. There is no chance of anybody forming a solid layer. So what are paints if they are not emulsions? Solid in liquid type. The one I taught in dispersion techniques. ये वो किताब दो. कौन सा? हाँ दोनों दिए क्या? माय गॉड, मैंने पूरा नहीं पढ़ता हूं ना. तो द मिनिमम कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ एन इलेक्ट्रोलाइट, द मिनिमम कॉन्सेंट्रेशन, पेज नंबर 149, द मिनिमम कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ एन इलेक्ट्रोलाइट इन मिलीमोल्स पर लीटर required to cause precipitation of a sol in 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 घंटों में मराना है. The minimum, I think in that book that is given differently. The minimum concentration of an electrolyte in millimoles per liter. 1 liter colloid को 2 घंटे समय में coagulate करने में कितना minimum concentration लगता है? That is called coagulation value. Smaller the quantity required, the higher will be the coagulating power of an ion. या कितना एप्लीकेशन दिया है देखो. ब्लड इज पॉजिटिवली चार्ज, नो. विच कोएगुलेट्स ब्लड? हु कैन कोएगुलेट ब्लड? नेगेटिव. देखो यहां क्या बोलते हैं इसको? वीन्स. देयर इज ए कट इन द वीन्स में कट है, blood comes out. Who will coagulate? How to stop that? पाइपलाइन में लीकेज रहा तो MC लगाए ना, सीमेंट डालते हैं हम. We can't put cement because blood won't accept foreign bodies. So you have to use whatever is present in the blood. So this RBC, WBC है ना, alum, K2SO4, Al2SO4 thrice, 24H2O. When applied, what will it do? It will coagulate the blood. What do you mean by coagulation of blood? RBC, WBC, etc. separated from blood. And what comes out? The liquid is called serum. That contains water and dissolved substance रहेगा. And since the solid particles are obstructing, clotting takes place. Not only that, we have vitamin K, which is a natural coagulant. Vitamin K deficiency is called hemophilia. Vitamin K नहीं रहा तो अगर कट हो गया तो नॉन स्टॉप ब्लड चलता रहेगा. I don't know. I am a diabetic, but I never study. डर के मारे, क्योंकि वो कोई किताब पढ़ा तो ये मत खाओ वो मत खाओ, बहुत सारे रूल्स रहेंगे. हाँ? The last 12 years. इतना ज्यादा नहीं है, इट्स अंडर कंट्रोल. I take medicine ना, metformin, उसकी वजह से ही पतला हो गया. I was 82 earlier, right now I am only 78. since 92. metformin करके एंटी ओबेसिटी ड्रग है, वो लेता हूँ. Anyhow, so applications of colloids. Please continue to read. Yeah. Cartels, very interesting, very. Cartels, smoke precipitator. Chimneys, you know what chimneys are? From which smoke escapes. At the end of a chimney, you get electrodes, positive anode and cathode. And the carbon particles will go back. In what form? Carbon particles, इसमें क्या रहेंगे? यहाँ कौन जाता है, वहाँ कौन जाता है? प्लस के पास कौन, माइनस? हाँ, कौन माइनस? स्मोक में तो है ही कार्बन, कुछ और नहीं है. So C minus will go to cathode. C minus will go to cathode. And C plus will go to anode. ठीक है ना? So smoke contains, when hydrocarbons are strongly heated, some of the carbons lose electrons, some other carbons gain the electrons, and they are discharged, and they fall down. And then electrophoresis. This is also very important in solid waste management. Electrophoresis. In a sewer, drainage, sewer nahi, sewerage treatment plant, at the end of electrodes are kept, positive and negative. So, dichromate ions which are harmful, hazardous to health, dichromate ions are discharged at the cathode. Dichromate, permanganate, especially they are present at textile mills and tanneries. Tanneries, leather, where leather is dealt with, shoes, वगैरह. So, electrophoresis, smoke precipitation. What are the other applications given? Coagulation of blood. Purification of drinking water. How do you do that? Reverse osmosis. Huh? Reverse osmosis has nothing to do with colloid. Eh? My God, most interesting, most interesting geographical fact about colloids is, देखो, river water is a colloid. River water is a colloid. Clay in colloidal state. Clay in colloidal state. River water carries clay along with it. Clay. And when it reaches the sea, समंदर के पास आया तो sea water contains so many ions, no? Na plus वगैरह. Clay definitely is negatively charged because that is a silicate. Clay is essentially silicates, contains negative charge. So the ions Na plus, Mg2 plus वगैरह, what do? They coagulate the river water. क्या होता है? Clay इधर हो जाता है. Clay precipitate होता है. Therefore, the water has to take a detour. यहाँ sand deposits हुआ तो ऐसा पानी आया तो इधर या उधर जाना पड़ता है. And that area is called a delta, and that is very fertile because that is purely clay. Krishna Godavari delta. I live in that Krishna Godavari delta. तुम्हारा कृष्णा हमारा यहाँ फाइनल होता है, गोदावरी उधर. दोनों स्टार्ट होते हैं बट पानी यूज करेंगे हम लोग बिकॉज वी आर ज्योग्राफिकली लोअर. फॉर्मेशन ऑफ डेल्टा. यस, कैसे करते हैं? Alum, okay. What will alum do? It will coagulate. Alum. Next. Medicines, of course. All allopathic medicines are given in colloidal state only. Tanning. Tanning में क्या करते हैं? हो सकता है. Cleansing action of soaps we have seen already. Photographic plate. Gelatin is added. Gelatin. Photographic plates are coated with gelatin. Rubber industry. So there are so many applications of colloids. Okay, after the break we look at catalysis. 5 minutes only. Okay, take a break.